Welcome back to Let's Play Hot Wheels World's Best Driver, the final episode. So now the extreme
Yellow team, powerful. Red team,
the extreme duels.
outrageous. Red team,
Who we're gonna start
outrageous.
with? I
Red
feel like
team,
we might want to start.
outrageous.
We might want to change up the
Green
order this
team,
time.
Super fast.
Let's
Red
start
team,
with
outrageous.
Red Team this time, to give them a chance to start off with something that might matter. So how's this gonna work? So my idea is pretty much that what we'll do here is we will consider this to be a bit more humans, or not humans, organics versus robots now, as opposed to just which team gets the highest score. So the way we'll look at it right now is effectively organics and robots are almost tied. Blue and yellow teams have the same score, but in that tie, the tie is broken by green team having a higher score than the red team. So where do we go from there? Well, we'll look at... So we'll see how these are measured. But my idea is we'll probably have some victor between these different... some victor for... Well, that's I don't know how I'll put it. So we'll rank everyone out of 4, probably. Which team gets the highest score on its respective extreme duels. And effectively... we'll leave it at that. We'll have to see how it's scored before we worry too much about that. For the bullet train, that's interesting. I don't really have a place for the duel on the spreadsheet, unfortunately.
Okay, Red Driver. You have a train to catch. And not just any train, a bullet train. Beat it to the station and let everyone know what extreme driving is all about.
This, by the way, is Gearhead, who of course is the MVP for... Not quite the MVP, formerly, for the robots. They don't have the highest, or for Red Team, don't have the highest score, but they have the highest average score. Of course, I never used this car before. Of course, also keep in mind, this is not actually a nice prototype car, this is just some car the robots are using. Let's see what gear I can do. So will I give these multiple tries each? We'll see. Man, this thing steers weird. It really oversteers. So unless there's no flame business towards the end here, we're good. That's some nice brakes.
You can't see it, but believe me, I'm dancing
We had an extreme duel.
up here.
So that's just a pass. I guess that's what we're gonna do. Pass or fail. Now, if everyone passes or something like that, we'll have to see.
Those sweet moves just unlock
I like
you a
her
little
rod.
more content.
But that makes things pretty simple. So duel. Pass. So the robots are 1 for 1 for their duels right now. And it looks like that's all for extreme duels. I don't know if you can unlock, it doesn't seem like you can unlock more. That extreme duel is always there. Except I just wasn't able to do it until I had enough medals. And no more others appear on the menu, so I guess that's all for extreme duels. I guess each team only has 1. That's what it feels like. So that's Red Team's extreme duel. They get a pass. I really might give these only just 1 shot. We'll have to see.
Red team, outrageous.
Now I'll move
Yellow
on to the
team.
humans, though.
Powerful.
Not humans. I keep calling you humans. Organics. Do we have any non-humans on our organic team, though, right now? And they still represent all non-robots in general, but Burns is not here, for instance. Huh. Whatever. So of course, we'll have our ace for the golden tetrad here as well. So Gearhead did just fine. Gearhead actually had a good track record here, despite everyone else not, which is interesting. But, so the one with the perfect score so far for golden tetrad is Slingshot here. And they will... I wanted to play as Baja, or not Baja, Firestorm and try some weird stuff here. Darn. And they're the ones you trust the most to do this part here, the chopper chase. Oh my god, game, really? How many people playing this game are even gonna get that? Like, this is not the target audience. Ah, mines again. Ah, it's always Bedlam that was doing with mines, though. But, still, Slingshot's the one with the best record here, so they're gonna... They're still nursing their wounds, I imagine, from earlier, but Slingshot's still gonna put on the line for the team here.
Are you as tired of that mine-dropping chopper as I am? Thought so. Why don't you make your way up to his helipad location on top of that unfinished high-rise complex and end these flying days once and for all?
Okay, that's kind of an amusing way of framing it. Also, why is that capitalized? We'll see here, though. So I don't know if I'll try to just see... No HUD? I might try to see if I know what, I try to get an idea of... I'm gonna try to get an idea of the courses first, without worrying about, going faster. So I'm gonna take it slow, to, like, guarantee that I don't win. By accident. Or anything like that. But this is probably something I should do for each of these duels.
Oh, man!
So make the turn here and try it if you want. So this part keeps going here now, that's the thing. There's like near the edge of the car.
Hey, go hard doesn't mean crash hard. Nobody noticed that one. Keep going.
That was impressive. Okay, so like, there's stuff like this, for instance. I need to know that I need to be on the left here. And on the right there. Jeez. Okay, so you can't wipe out either. Okay. But again, we just need to see right now what it is we're actually expected to do, because I can't let any surprises like that get me off guard. It would be kind of unfair to try to give these guys one chance when...
Am I distracting you, Yellow? Or are you just not that good of a driver?
You are very distracting, Super Dude. Please shut up. When you have all these hazards that you can't see, that we don't know about yet.
You know what, Yellow Driver? If you see a store, you might want to pull in and pick up some duct tape. Are you for
There are
real?
probably some stores around here. It's like here we know we need to be on the side here, for instance. Go big, please. And here,
Where's your head at, Yellow?
I'm just trying to
We need
figure...
conquer these
I'm just trying to
events.
get through the track in the first place without actually worrying about racing. Wait a minute here. It's really mean, though, how they put that there, because you can't see that in the slightest. You need to know that it's there. That's why I'm doing this event. I'm doing this event a test run first. There's a chopper up there that I'm trying to beat.
Hey, DJ Yellow!
So I'm gonna have to be
Help
pretty
with the
fast to beat that guy.
scratching.
Jeez. Alright. Whoa, you can really hit yourself on that? Like, that's just mean. This game is a little unkind to you on this course. It's very unkind to you because you still can't see stuff you need to drive onto. Like this. This is where we finish here. Okay. Let's do it for real. You know the track now. Get going. Slingshot. Your only hope.
Oh, man!
Not like that, dude. Come on now. Make the turn here. I went for it. Can't pull any punches here. Oh, come on now.
Nobody noticed that one. Keep going. Yo, Yellow. This isn't getting too hard for you, is it?
Who wins?
You hear that, Yellow? That's
Yeah!
the sound of me scratching that challenge off the list.
Wow, I didn't
Good
think I
job.
won that. Wow. Okay. That was really close. So the idea is, I guess, that you hit the chop? You have to chase and hit the chopper. Wow. That's a pass from Golden Tetrad. That was a nail biter, though. Wow. I saw it getting away at the end there. Okay.
Congratulations, Yellow Driver. You just scored yourself a little bonus. Check it out back at the test facility.
Okay, then. So now we go back to the robots. This is going to be Blue Team. Blue Team, of course, we expect great things from, but we also expected great things from Golden Tetrad, and that was scary. This could be where things get mixed up, because we saw, for instance, that Red did just fine. But everybody's done what they need so far. Maybe I'll try out doing stuff over here in the Firestorm when I'm having the epilogue of this, and I'm talking about stuff. That's probably what I'll do.
Yellow team. Powerful.
Alright. On to the Blue Team.
High tech.
So Blue Team, their ace is Grease Lightning. As I said before, prototype will be Grease Lightning. I don't really have a space for the dual stuff to fit on here. It's just kind of getting stuck in a weird place. It's off in the corner where I'm typing in the dual stuff. So I feel like that works for Grease Lightning. Incidentally, I feel like I made some pretty appropriate choices for characters for these. The ones that I chose for the characters I chose for the prototype cars end up being the best drivers for these teams, which is pretty cool. I mean, they really are putting up their best. I think there's one drifting event with this car. It's the one where you go on the walls. They usually use other cars for drifting events. Anyways, against a jet. Jeez. Not against jet threat, I suppose. Okay.
Put the pedal to the metal in order to beat this elite prototype jet. Braking isn't an option. Pay attention to the curvature of the track to set yourself up for success. At 30,000 horsepower, this jet won't be taking it easy on you.
So like before, I'll give myself an idea of what the course is first, I think. Jeez, super dramatic framing. I don't know if there's much to see here. I like that there's no, I don't want to hit that ramp. Why do I want to hit that ramp? That's a speed boost, interesting. I'm amused how there's no HUD here. Yeah, so I don't know what to expect from this track just yet, though. So I'm curious if they designed these prototypes. We're not doing this one to win. So I'll figure out the track first.
Understand this, driver. That is not the way of Team Blue. Copy?
Oh, that's the end. What? Okay. So that's all there is to do, I guess. Let's get going again. So I'm curious if these prototype cars are designed uniquely for this game. I didn't realize that was the end, though. It's weird. It's really short. It's shorter than the red team was. This thing handles really nicely, though. Wow. Yep, that's a win.
That's one polished performance, Blue.
That's also a pass. So, I think this all comes down to green team. So right now, the way it's going, we have what would be a tie between ignoring these events, ignoring the Extreme Duels.
Driver, you are
We have what would
100%
be
in
a
the zone.
tie
More content headed your way.
between organics and robots because of gold, Tetrad, and blue teams being tied. What breaks that tie is green team being out red. Now, if everyone performs exactly the same in these extreme duels, that means the win goes to organics. However, it all rides now on the green team passing this last course.
Blue team, high tech. Green team, super fast.
So here we go. Typing the duel on the spreadsheet. Doesn't really matter who we select here. So this last event decides the entire outcome of this series. Doesn't matter how I select here. So this is a bit of a big deal. Who knows? I legitimately didn't expect this to get this dramatic. Like, I didn't even throw in anything contrived. This is just how the event turned out to be. How the tournament turned out. It organically came to be this close. It's interesting. We only had one race like this one. It's interesting. This would be a lot easier now though with the special ability. All right, who are we going up against? For the snowballs? Sure. We gotta beat gravity. That's what we're racing. We're racing against gravity.
The snowballs running down the course are dangerous and fast, Green, but I know you're faster. Keep your eyes on the course and don't get left out in the cold.
So who's our driver? Someone walks in, leave the end of the car, and you might notice out in the crowd is So Fast, Vert, Twin Mill, and Alex. There's one person who has a much more personal stake in this than anybody else. Someone who, against the advice, against the will of everyone else, jumps in and decides to take on the final event themselves. That someone is Danny Justice. Danny! How could he simply sit still and not say anything about his thought-to-be father, apparently adoptive father, robot adoptive father, being the one behind all of this, using him
Back there.
for his own ends throughout all of this. It's Danny versus all the robots now. He takes it all on his own. He's the one who's going to make or break it. Is his recklessness going to ruin everything for everyone else? Potentially. And does it?
I love it when a win
No.
comes together.
Wow. Not even a practice run. You just jump in. I don't even know where the snowball went.
It's an absolute
just left
pleasure
behind.
watching your work, Green Driver. And a pleasure.
Oh, sorry for skipping you. Sorry for cutting off Rigor Motor, but this is kind of a bigger deal. That's a pass. Organics win. Look at that. And look at that. That 1 point that Track T lost made all the difference. Track T lost it for everyone. Wow. So that's the end of it. The Organics win the tie,
Green team, super fast.
with Danny making a nice big final statement. Him being the one to deliver the finishing blow, so to speak,
Blue team,
to what his
high tech.
thought to be father had orchestrated. Look at that. So where does that leave us?
Powerful.
we're done.
Blue team.
Game's
High
over.
tech. Yellow
I
team.
don't think there's much to be gained from trying to 100% this game. It doesn't seem like there's really any kind of content that I haven't seen yet that there is to see. So I'll just leave it at that. But, wow. It's weird. I've never known up until this very last moment here how this game would end. How this entire series would end. The robots. Oh jeez, that thing's kind of awkward to look at. Let's make that gold as it should be. So that's the end of it, though. I mean, like I said at the beginning of this game, I never had an answer to who would win. Ever. It wasn't scripted. It was just who was actually going to win. And it got so amazingly close. I love when things work out on their own. The drama just comes out of everything on its own. It comes out of the game itself. I love it when that happens. It reminds me of the earlier days of this series, playing all these Hot Wheels games, when I wasn't scripting as many things. I wasn't saying, this is how the story is going to go. Even then, when I kind of said the story was going to go a certain way, it tended to...
Don't mean to be hard on you, Yellow. But you're better than this. Come on!
There were occasional unexpected things that happened. But here, it was all off the script, pretty much. I decided which characters were who, and that was really it. And Danny, I guess, jumping at the end, but, I mean, how can I resist that? Danny being left off the roster when he has such a personal stake in this whole thing. With Professor being here. How could we do that to him? And it would have been a big deal, too, if Danny was the one to jump in and ruin the chance for everyone. But no, it was actually Track T. Track T, I don't know if we're going to see Track T again. I don't know what to expect to happen to Track T after this. Professor imagines going to be fairly unhappy. But what's going to happen to the robots as a whole? Well, that's going to get answered at a later point. We're done with the story, effectively. There's really just an epilogue to see. There's two small things I want to do to end off this series. One will be an epilogue to the series, kind of a where are they now, where we find out what becomes of everyone after this whole thing. And the thing is, I would have, like, thought about what would happen in that epilogue and scripted it all out if I had known who would win, but I didn't know who would win, so I didn't know. I'll talk then, when we get into that, about how things probably would have been if the robots had won instead. I would have constructed it, but
You know what, Yellow Driver?
so this car just can't do any of this
Maybe we
stuff,
should
I
swap.
figured, but
I'll drive, you navigate.
yeah, no, Swoopy-Doo.
Man!
You're not getting 7 foot on another car as long as you live. It's not one of ours. You're still not part of the Golden Tetra. But, so we will have that. We will do that, and that ought to be fun. I kind of want to drive around the prototype cars, but it's probably better to look at the credits here. I always like looking at credits at the end. And I'll talk about what I thought of this game, too, in a minute. But, so after that little epilogue that we get done, that should be pretty brief. I'll have one non-canonical, non-story game just to finish everything off and be done. With all of this more than year-long adventure this whole Hot Wheels series has been. I haven't played every single Hot Wheels game. I didn't play Slot Car Racing because it would not be practical to have to buy all the stuff for it. I would need for it, as I'd have to buy a lot of things for it to get to run, and just to get to run, I'd have them sitting around. I won't want to do that. Crash just isn't really worth playing. It's literally like 5 minutes if you 5 minutes long if you know how to play the game, in all seriousness. And it's just not really fun, I don't think. Also, the game hurts my ears. The sound effects. And aside from that, it's just stuff I don't really have access to, like mobile games and things like that. I wouldn't be able to play if I wanted. So I'll call this the end of it. And I guess I'll have more to talk about with regards to this series as a whole in the next two things I play, because that'll just be the time to do it. I'll have plenty of time to talk about it then, instead of having to worry about whether or not I fit everything into the end of this episode. So there's a little bit more to say about what it was like putting together this whole experience, this whole series, and I'll talk about that, as well as some ideas I bounced around in my head and never got used, things like that. So that's something to look forward to if you have any interest in the whole story. For the game, though, I'll just talk about the game for the rest of this episode, and then I'll see you next time in the epilogue. But Stump, that's an interesting last name. What did I think of this game? I think it was a good last game to play, not just because it was a big tournament between everyone and that worked awesome, but I think it was on the whole pretty fun to play. I enjoyed it in a lot of ways. It's not racing, but I don't think that's a problem. I do wish I had multiplayer, that's one thing that bugs me. But that aside, are those the credits? Wow, that's really short. Okay, well, credits done. I'll drive around with some prototype cars, I guess. But, as I was saying, the game, I think on the whole, is nice. I like the idea of it. It's actually almost like Snapchat Challenge in a way. I like how you have a bunch of events where you get to do cool stuff. And you get to have multiple versions of the same event, which I think is good. A person might feel that means that everything's getting kind of
powerful,
recycled.
Outrageous.
What I really feel like is that the result is that you can actually get better at these kinds of events, and you get to see the same idea applied in different scenarios, with different challenges added in throughout and things like that. What paint jobs do we have for this? Of course, it's green for Danny too. That's perfect. Interesting how the... Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Interesting how the wheels are always green no matter what on here. But I like the ones as a whole. One thing that bugs me is... and I know this sounds weird, but the cars control a bit too differently from each other, I think. Like, I generally praise a game having cars that control really differently, but it's hard getting used to all the cars controlling in such distinct ways. Some oversteer like crazy, some don't in the slightest. They all control very different at high speeds, which is good on the whole. But it's hard getting into an event. Also, I noticed all the things that you can race, except for the bullet train, are actually visible here. They're flying around here, which is kind of cool.
Not cool, Green.
This is very cool. Shut up.
Nearly, but no.
It's still cool! Shut up! Good job, Danny. I think Danny has expended all of his actual skill in that one race. I don't know if there's anything more to see around here either to unlock. If you unlock stuff, more stuff here by getting more medals. Maybe not, I'm not too worried. But also, like, the hub is interesting, so I feel like just I'm not sure what the point is, especially at the beginning when there's nothing here. As you unlock stuff here, it's kind of cool, you can run around and do stuff, and how you can kind of have any vehicle on pretty much any course, or any type of environment. They can't bring them into any event on the whole. So it's kind of fun. But it's still kind of weird. I do like that, at least how you can see how it changes as you unlock more stuff over time. The events themselves are usually fairly well designed too. Some are awkward and short, like the speed ones, but there are different types of gameplay that ask you different things. I like a lot of them. The only one I didn't really like conceptually, was the one for Blue Team where you have to pull out the parachute and just stop. It's like playing it's like, what was it? It's like curling. Because that one, no skills from that one transfer to any other, there are no transferable skills there. Gameplay from the rest of the game will not make you better at that, and that will not make you better at any other kind of gameplay either.
That'll do on the panel,
which is annoying to me. That aside, I liked
Listen up, Green Driver.
pretty much all of them,
It's
at
a
least
performance
conceptually.
vehicle, not a tank. Just let it
Can
go.
I drive up there?
Put it behind you,
It's
Green.
weird. It's like a wall.
Get back in the game.
So that I had fun with. I think it worked really well. Some of the individual events didn't work so well in execution. Whoa. Namely, of course, the whole matter with... Can you reset the car? Thank you. Just wanted to get this car fixed. Namely, pretty much anything with Red Team. This game does not work. Stunts don't work in this game. The controls are, in fact, for that matter, as far as I can tell, you don't even have both of the stunt buttons mapped on the default control scheme. You have to switch control schemes if you want to do all the tricks. Thankfully, it doesn't seem like skill tricks are a thing, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. It's still really weird. Oh, I never even saw down here. That's awesome. It has the boost pads and everything. Wow. Awesome, I did not know that. Practice here. I didn't realize you can go in here, that's awesome. I do like being able to access these in kind of a free roam type of thing. This is really cool. Probably gets a lot cooler over time. Make that turn, dude. This thing doesn't turn very well. I don't think it's actually breaking its max speed though. Curious if you could actually exceed your max speed here with other cars. This thing cannot turn though. Yeah, but I've already made all my complaints about how Red Team works and how the chain system just doesn't work with them, how bumping into things ruins everything, which is a problem when landing can count as bumping into something or going up a ramp can count as bumping into something. It's fairly ridiculous. That aside, I like pretty much everything. Very different types of gameplay. I like how we had different teams that had different types of events and different cars. Some cars I really liked how they controlled, others, well, they usually match their event in some way or another. My main concern was actually the car Muscles was on. I don't remember what it was called. Loop Coupe? Yeah, Loop Coupe. That was just too slow for the drifting events. I don't think it would work very well. You have to try to drift while going super slow. You can't exceed 60 kilometers per hour. It's just a snail's pace for any car. Which was weird. I don't know why they did that. But that aside, I think it was nice. I do think they kind of overused the drifting events in Blue Team stuff, but on the whole, I guess it's kind of their signature thing, I guess. It worked. They're kind of fun. They're a nice challenge. Not very good YouTube content if you want to actually keep doing them and try to get good at them, but on the whole, I think they're nice. They're fun. What do I think did not work about this game? This game's production values, they feel high in general. Sometimes it feels like you kind of see that usual license not necessarily caring type of thing in there. Like, when I mentioned about the issue with how... It's in the middle here, there's nothing. The controls are kind of weird, how you don't seem to be able to do all the stunts using one of the control schemes. The game makes it sound like there are more extreme duels than there are. There are only 4, which is kind of awkward. Of course, there's the missing subtitles for Red Team as well. And anything if Red Team as a whole just feels unpolished compared to everything else. You try to do something so different with that team that just didn't work, in my opinion. They tried to make an engine that works for all these different kinds of gameplay. I just don't think that's possible. I think that was kind of a mistake. Oh, we're being out here. Oh, did I unlock this part? Or was this always here? I don't remember it always being here, but I don't remember doing this in an event either. I do wish at some point you actually had the teams go head-to-head. That's kind of weird that you never did. I figured the Extreme Duels would be that. That's one thing. That's the only weird thing, like on a conceptual level, that is kind of weird to me because the game kind of makes it out as the teams. Well, it's not really the teams. So the idea here, I believe, is that you are somebody trying to. You're basically trying out to become a member of one of these teams. The weird thing being, I don't know why it's called World's Best Driver if you're just one of the drivers on this team. You're one of the world's best drivers, I guess. Kind of odd. But on the other hand, one thing that really bugged me throughout the entirety, I have also just preferred if instead of make it like trying out to get on the team, if they made it actually being on the team, I'd rather be on the team than make the entire game being trying to become one of them. But the other thing was that it sounds so awkward that the entirety of this game, and they're always referring to your driver. I know this is kind of a small thing, but they always refer to your driver by their color, which is so obviously just a placeholder for an actual name that's so strange to me. It sounds so wrong. Because you're not even a member of their team yet, but they're saying, hey, green driver, who's not actually part of the green team. It's kind of weird. I prefer they just never used any name. That would be much less seamless. It won't stick out so much. On the whole, though, I don't really mind the navigators. Yellow one is a little annoying sometimes. Red one also gets a little annoying sometimes. I wish they just chastised you a little bit less, especially for breaking combos, which you're expected to do. Generally. Maybe with the exception of yellow team. So I get kind of tired of hearing them complaining, I do. For doing absolutely fine. I also wish they had said different things for different, Can I even fit through there? Bring up the wings. There we go. Yeah, these didn't used to be open. But I do wish they said different things depending on what your score was, how many medals you got. That's kind of weird. They always do the same thing. They don't give you a different amount of praise for, depending on how well you do. Which is another small thing that's just kind of awkward. Shoot. Those small things, they make a difference though. They make a difference in how the game feels. Speaking of small things though, I also really like that some of the cars really are something kind of interesting and special. Namely, this one here. How Jet Threat actually has these wings that come out. I don't know if Jet Threat 4.0 was made for this game or not. I don't know if any cars are made for this game or not. Aside from, I'm guessing the prototypes were. Which is kind of cool. I like the prototypes. Or maybe they weren't made for some other Team Hot Wheels thing. This whole game seems to be connected to the whole Team Hot Wheels idea that I'm not very familiar with. Wonderful. So maybe I'm just missing some context in some of this stuff. But I really like what they did with Jet Threat 4.0 here. Doesn't remind me of the other Jet Threats at all, but that's kind of the tradition of Jet Threat, I feel like. The Jet Threat cars don't actually seem similar to each other in the slightest. It's a small thing what this car does with its stabilizing wings, but it's cool. It makes the car feel a lot more authentic in a way. The question is, how do I drop down here without destroying my car? Like that. Awesome. I didn't have to drop down here though. Looks like that was an entrance there. Calm down. Don't bring the wings out yet. You don't want to break them off yet. See it from the track. Those are coming this way because in the actual game you do this. Let's have a warm-up lap first. On the whole, I think it's nice. The production values are generally good. It's still a licensed game, I feel like, but there's not a ton to it in the sense that, I don't know, some parts feel kind of lacking so far as like the universe and whatnot, which is something extra to ask for in terms of a licensed game anyways. That's something I usually come in expecting. I feel like World Race and Star Trek Challenge did actually pull it off, make it feel like there's kind of a world to it. This game absolutely didn't. But it's not something I expect a game to have like this to have anyways. But it's fun. I most just wish I had multiplayer. That's kind of the big thing. Anything else that I could really ask for, something that I think is just kind of extra. This game doesn't necessarily need, but it'd be nice to have. So no, I think it's nice and fun. If you just kind of ignore the red team, it's a nice, solid, fun game, I think. I'm really happy to play it. Not just for story purposes and whatnot, but because it's actually legitimately fun. The gameplay is fun. Everything around the gameplay is... there could be more to it. It feels a little lacking. It feels like just kind of an excuse for a game where you drive cars and do stuff. But you do lots of interesting, fun, cool things. There's some fun creativity behind some of the stuff. I do like how you actually have some consistent... Ooh. I like how you have some consistent backdrops. Yeah, this car suddenly does not control in the slightest once you lose those things. Wow, it's kind of funny. I like how that actually affects like car controls. Every other car, it seems like, is not affected at all by its damage, but this one, stabilizers, you need them. I like that. Yeah, this car cannot turn as well anymore, because you don't have as much downforce. Oh no, you can go in through the... wait a minute. Where's that one lead?
There's a fraction too much friction down there, Green.
Where's this one go? Exploring. Stuff to learn here. Stuff to be found. I do like a film of exploration. I didn't expect that from this game.
Step out of it, Green. You're slipping.
Wait. So that's where this one goes. Where's the other one go? I got mixed up. Where's the other one spitting out at? So lots of this game, parts of this game are just kind of whatever, good enough. Like soundtrack, for instance, is fine, but otherwise it's solid enough to play and fun to play. That's what all it needs to be, I guess. That's probably a good way of putting it. This game is what it needs to be. Not much more, not much less.
Speed's only good if it's smooth. You know that, Green Driver.
Huh. I didn't know that was there. Oh, I thought that led into somewhere else, actually. Okay. Anyways, that we've done. We've seen the credits. We've talked for like half an hour about everything. It's like 15 minutes, I think. I think that's good. The story's over. Well, I'll see you guys next time in next game I play, which will be just an epilogue, revisiting a game and doing something fun that I had been wanting to do for a long time. Hope you guys enjoyed this,
It all adds up.
like I did.
Watch it.
So I think it was worth playing. I think it's actually one of the better Hot Wheels games by a decent margin. Which isn't saying much, because not many Hot Wheels games are good, but I think my three favorite Hot Wheels games by to a good degree are World Race, Soundtrack Challenge, and this game. For different reasons in each case, but I like this. I always wondered if you can knock
Supposed
that
to be
thing off.
racing, not scraping.
Bye everyone. You know what? Let's look at our winners. We'll end it off with that.
Green team.
I could also go what achievements there are. I think he's gonna crash
High tech.
if I try that.
Green team.
Danny made the
Super
difference.
fast.
Danny won it.
Yellow team.
And or Track T lost it. If Track T hadn't lost,
High
this would have
tech.
been very different. But oh well.
Green team.
So I'll try to look at the
Super
achievements. If I can
fast.
look at the achievements, then we'll look at the achievements. If the game crashes, then I'll just cut it off here. Okay. So where are the achievements here? Why is Psycho 6 on here? Oh no, I played Psycho 6 on this file. Never mind. Let's just see what they are just for fun. Liveries. Interesting. Liveries I just don't really care about. I could have bought them because I have nothing else to spend my tokens on. But 30-second wheelie. Jeez. I can't even do it for like at all. Wheelies are hard. All the tokens in an event. Huh. I'm special. Bah! I think that's kind of funny. It's a funny idea. 5,000? Okay, that's a little excessive. Crush my snowball. All the tokens, that's ridiculous. 99 chain multiplier. Where would you do that? You could do that somewhere. What? That's ridiculous. Wow. That's a really strange limitation without actually... So you'd have to do it from the menu. That's just wasting time. Wow. Huh. Odd idea. I would not recommend making that an achievement. Anyways. See you next time, everyone. It's been quite the adventure. But it's coming to a close. Also, I'll say now, any ideas anyone has for ideas to throw into the epilogue as well, for what happens with any other characters. I have some brief ideas. I'm going to start thinking about it too in the week that comes, between now and starting up the epilogue. But any ideas that you have for what happens with who, if you want to throw them out there, do it, and I'll consider it. Bye everyone.